and welcome back to the channel. My name is Jacob and today we are continuing our series with Mazovian Zoo in Poland. And in today's episode, just like I said a week ago, we are going to finally finish the main entrance point from the outside. The main entrance point being inspired by the beautiful Sobieskis Palace in the district of Warsaw called Wilanów. And in this part of building this, actually one of the biggest building that I ever built in Planet Zoo, we are going to add the last, let's say, big details that are also in the real life palace, and we are going to add some adjustments so everything is nice, clean, and is finally finished because this palace was being built with a little break for about 2 weeks, and it contains maybe about 20,000 pieces. I don't know the exact number sadly because I had my little playground where I'm playing right now on the screen. You can see it. And the palace in the same group. So probably one day when I will just remove the playground from the main group, I will count all the elements and I will get the exact number. But that's not important. The important is what we are doing today, which the first thing is actually the main, maybe, I don't know how to call it in English sadly, but it is maybe a facade. The higher facade above the main entrance to the palace, which you can also see at actually every single photo of this palace, because that's a point where it just point your eye over there. And it is really interesting. It is actually beautiful and I really wanted to incorporate it in. Also, we can see that in this video there will be maybe less cuts. Maybe you don't know it, I know it, because just like I was placing all of the thousands of pieces, I became faster, just a little bit faster. So there are less cuts and there are less. I was looking to my reference picture less because I already had in mind what I wanted to do, and I also managed to bring myself just a little bit of creative freedom, because actually every single thing from real life you can build in Planet Zoo, but sometimes you have to actually have this creative pause and creative time which you should take if you want your build to be looking good and looking great and etc etc. And sometimes even if you want the build to be working in franchise mode or in the campaign and challenge mode, etc etc. But yeah, just like that, you can see me going around with this wall decorations, which are also really interesting. When I first saw it, when I was just deeply looking into the reference picture, I was curious why they chose this, I don't know, this orange color, something like that, to decorate it. But still, I have to admit that it turned out really, really well at the palace, at the original palace, of course. So I also incorporated that in here. And yeah, just like that. That will be actually I said that will be the end of the outside of this particular build, but what will be with the inside, because you can see that everywhere I place those transparent versions of windows in Planet Zoo, and I was thinking that adding the interior probably is not so interesting to watch, because we are building this palace already, the second episode, and this particular part is half an hour long, so it's not short by any means. And also I think that I will be doing the interior off camera, or if the zoo will come to an end, because the thing with the boring part is one, but the second part is that also it takes a lot of time to build inside, because actually there are a lot of elements that I really had to have in mind, and also it have to be symmetrical, so it is because aesthetics. And also there will be just me going for hours, at least 1 hour long, go through with plaster pieces, going from one place to another and placing it down and then placing decoration. I don't think that after watching the second episode of building this palace, it will be particularly interesting, especially because in our zoo there are still not animals. There are more monuments of animals than there living creatures in this project right now. But I think that will change very soon in the next episode. I really hope so. And yeah, just like I said, and also the last problem with that is this palace is really piece heavy. Like I don't know still the limits of my PC when it comes to Planet Zoo, mostly because also I will be repeating myself over here because that's the biggest build that I ever attended in Planet Zoo, and I hadn't have a chance actually to actually count the limits of my PC. I haven't ever built anything that actually started breaking my PC. I had something like that in Jurassic Evolution 2, of course. You could see that in Canada Lake Park, but yeah, it wasn't actually. But it was actually the other game, and also Jurassic Evolution 2 is built different, and the gameplay style is actually very different from that in Planet Zoo. So I am actually curious if one day I will be forced to actually build in this zoo with the game all time past or without animals, but we will see that in the future. For now we are building this palace, and yeah, so for now, in conclusion, for now we are not doing the interior because it will take too much time, too much pieces, and it wouldn't be so enjoyable. And of course I finally wanted to add some animals to this zoo because, well, let's say that zoo without animals is not perfect, and actually that's the main reason why I'm building all of this. And actually I'm looking at the screen what I will be building right now, and yes, I think that will be the details that I didn't build in the first place will be these decorative facades above the doors and above these little segments, because that's also from the reference picture. There's also a lot of going around, selecting the pieces, but especially with this part that you are watching right now, probably that's it. I really like the final outcome, but for now I'm also going with those little fences, so everything is also lined up perfect. Again, I have to say that I understood in the past why many Planet Zoo builders fell in love with the plaster pieces, because they're really they are really versatile. They have changeable colors, and also they are pretty thin, which is really important over here because we don't have something like in Prehistory Kingdom or Grand Coaster 2. We don't have resize tool, which is really helpful many times when you are building in such games, because not single piece is perfect for your build, and sometimes you got this resize tool, so there is no problem actually, because you're just playing around placing all of those pieces and everything is cool. In Prehistory Kingdom, the system is great because it actually makes it possible for you to make the entire item itself as big as the axis intended, or just extend it in one axis, so you actually have a metal beam that suddenly becomes something, I don't know, a metal wall or something else. You could do that. In Planet Coaster 2 you have only the ability actually to go around with the all axis resize, but still it is really helpful. In Planet Zoo we don't have such a comfort, and we have to actually go around and stick many pieces in places which are not visible at the final outcome. And yes, that's the coming back to the build, that's the facade that I was really proud about. But you can see me over here going around actually trying to measure it up, but at the end it turned out that the not the main thing is not centered. The flower at the center is not centered. The main decoration, which I was really happy about also, but I managed to repair that and introduce it into the building. Again, building another facade, because this episode, I would say over here, will be maybe only those little decorations, because every single time I build anything in such a games, in Jurassic World Evolution 2, in Prehistoric Kingdom, and in Planet Zoo, firstly I start with the small things, small stuff, or maybe not. What I'm even talking about? The small stuff, I mean the less detailed one. So I got the idea what I am working with. I got the sense of scale, etc. So everything can be built perfectly into the build, and we got beautiful build. And then I'm going with the smaller details. It is also a lot of work, especially with the building as big as this palace, but still I think it is worth it. It is worth it because the final outcome is beautiful. And actually, the wall that I'm building over here on the speed build, it's the first wall that will be placed on the other side. And actually, I was waiting to build this wall for a very long time, because also where I'm building, I have to say that I making myself a very little schedule, a very little plan, what to do, how to do, because everything is much easier if you do something like that. So actually I know that firstly I'm starting with the main entrance, then I'm going all around, copying around pieces that are repeating itself, and then I'm going to the back, and that's the thing, that's the way that how I built this entire project, which I'm really proud about, I have to say. Maybe it's not the masterpiece of Planet Zoo building, because I'm I'm quite often going around YouTube and seeing how how beautiful stuff can other creators do in Planet Zoo. All of these tours made by the late designer, or the Leaf, or the Sicily Zoo by the Rudy Rancano. I really wish I were at the point where all of those people are, which are making those very popular YouTube videos about Planet Zoo, and also the people that are mentioned in the videos, because all of those are really talented and worth watching. If you both Planet Zoo or any other creative games, you should really recommend also those big channels. The smaller channels are also good. I have seen beautiful and magnificent builds on the smaller channels, but actually the bigger channels are actually, I don't know, maybe they're doing this with maybe more professional way, so you are actually more contained when you are watching something new from Planet Zoo, especially when you bought, just like I said, just bought it, and you were really curious, and you are thinking about all of these options that you are available. Watching these videos is really incredible. Also, last time I saw it, I don't remember exactly when, but not very long time ago, Caesar creates, also YouTuber from Poland, very popular. I really like watching his videos. Uploaded a tutorial video about the invisible gate, and when I was watching it, I was actually, my head was blown. How can you? Because in Planet Zoo it is possible the to make the gate, the entrance gate for the staff members to the habitat completely invisible. But for it, I really recommend for you checking the Caesar Create channel, because that video is really short. It's about 7 minutes, and it is really well made, and it brings you a lot of knowledge that will be helpful in your future build in Planet Zoo. And in this particular part, when I was lying down the back, maybe that's the not main entrance, but the back of the building, you could see there are some cuts, because I was going around. I had some, actually, a few ideas how to implement the back, how to build it so I don't have net all those that I don't bring myself all of this unnecessary time to build it actually. So the video will come up actually quite early, or the video actually will be ready early because every single episode will be, or it is going to be on Monday. I really wish it was 11 a.m., but sometimes it is impossible for me, so sorry for that. But just like that, uh, oh my God, I'm so sorry, but sometimes I have something like that I'm talking about something and then I forgot what I was talking about. But yeah, the roof. The roof on this building is actually terrible, in my opinion. Maybe it's not looking that bad because at the end I was going around with playing around with those copper pieces, but I don't know, maybe it's the thing why because these copper pieces, maybe they are since the launch of the game. I don't know because I haven't played the game since the launch, and but I think they are the classical theme and they are pretty old, and the selection of them is actually not best. Let's call it that way. It's not best mostly because there aren't many those non-grid pieces, or if there are those clock tower pieces, which are not so versatile, mostly because we don't have something like the resize tool, what I was talking about earlier. But still, you can make something interesting with them. But I really wish we had even more pieces of copper walls, of copper pieces, which are on the grid, and also without the grid, which will be actually really, really helpful in the future when you are building something which is related to it. Because I really wanted to use it because the texture on it is beautiful and it was really fitting actually the main, maybe not what I'm talking about, the main style of the building. It was perfect for that, and also it was really matching the reference picture. So I wanted to implement it, and I know that I also could use the metal pieces, just like I used this, and I don't remember right now how it was called. So sorry for that. This let's say fire department helping points. I don't know this water stands. Let's call it the water stands. In case of the fire, I used them all around the build. You can see those little squares, that's little green, dark green squares. That's the element. But there are lots of it, and they're making again this build really really piece heavy, and in many places they are actually duplicated. And for me, it's actually impossible to go around and delete those pieces that are not visible from the build, so that they aren't they don't have to be there because they are slowing down my PC and they are not visible anyway. Because this build is so big, it's impossible for me, and I also don't have so much time in my life to go around. And in the future, I will be for sure more mindful about those pieces. But still, I'm really proud of the outcome that they created because, just like I said, there aren't many those copper pieces that would be helpful with building such a project, because for some reason there aren't. They were added in any DLC later, and I don't think they will be added anyway because we have them right now, but they are not so versatile. But maybe it's not the biggest cause over here. They won't be added because there are also many other pieces, many important pieces that can be added to this game and will be even more helpful. So I have to actually I think that there is this higher meaning of okay, and we have to remember that there are more pieces that would be even more helpful than my copper pieces that I'm really praying right now. I'm praying for them only in this particular build, and in the future I will forget about it. But the lack of them actually caused me to use these metal pieces, so I had this green outcome also seen in the reference pictures, which turned out at the end really, really well, and I really like the outcome of it. But the amount of pieces is actually incredible, and I I'm really curious right now. I think that I have to bump into the game really soon, and I will, because there is this tool in the multi-selector to select all of the items that are the same, actually the palette of color, which is really helpful with selecting the same kind of piece that you were actually going around with the single build. So I will check that in my free time because I'm really curious. And probably in the next episode, if I won't forget, I will tell you how much of it will be good. Or maybe not, maybe it's not so very interesting. But yeah, coming back to the build, you can see me decorating these facades, and actually we have nearly the last part of the speed build, and this last part will be mostly about adding all of those decorations and adding, or maybe not. What did we talk about? Oh my god, I can't speak English today, so sorry for that. There will be adding all of that stuff that is necessary. There will be also deleting a lot of stuff, and I will do as much as I possibly can to this build to be looking natural and unique, and everything with it will be perfect, of course, at the amount of skill that I have right now in this game. And also, after looking at the cinematics at the end, because of course we have a cinematic, just like the tradition says at the end of the video, tell me in the comments down below, what do you think about this palace? What do you think actually about this entire project? Because maybe I should repeat it over here, because I was thinking about it for a quite long time. Because the first episode of the series was quite chaotic. Oh my god, maybe chaotic. I'm sorry for my pronunciation, but I think that will be the correct one. Just a little bit chaotic, and I haven't said anything that I wanted to do with this project. So yeah, the plan is to build this palace. Will be the main entrance point, will be the palace of the Polish magnate, which is the highest point of the Polish nobility. There will be this part where behind the palace, where there will be the 19th century zoo, which was built by the Polish back in the day. Maybe some rich Polish guy decided to implement this beautiful scenery into the zoo. So we have this little old European zoo with the European fauna, and then we are going to have also from the last time of the palace there was these Japanese gardens, and also they also will be rebuilt, repurposed to be also the habitats for the Far East Asian animals. I was thinking about the crane, and I was also thinking about the Japanese macaque. And also this will be for the other part of the zoo. I was thinking about adding little farm, which was designed maybe by a Dutch architect or any other architect, where will be this small restaurant, and also will be the petting zoo area, and also the last part will be the newest part of the zoo, which was built somewhere in 2010, somewhere in that kind of time, somewhere in those times, and it will be housing small amount of African animals, because also preventing those species from fauna of Africa is really important. And I was also thinking about adding the elephants to the zoo. Of course, in the first episode, I said that I don't think that there will be elephants in the zoo because it won't be so big, but still, I was thinking about that it will be still quite a large zoo, and think that implementing elephants in maybe this also 19th century little 19th century themed area, which would be themed around India, and we will have something like, I was thinking about the Indian pea file, and also quite large habitat, the comfortable habitat, which could be also renovated for the elephants in this little themed area. I know that is also really nearly the same thing, or it was actually it was inspired by the two habitats, one in real life, which is also the in Prague Zoo, which I have seen online, and also it was built by wonderful builders, ZSH Place, in his Bellemont Zoo. I think that I really like the idea of this little film section, and I was thinking about adding this little implementation to the Mazovian Zoo. So tell me in the comments down below if the Indian section is really good idea, or if you don't like it, or if you have some other ideas for the zoo. I'm really also open to discussion, open for your creative ideas, because I know that this community is great if it comes to actually thinking about new beautiful stuff to build in our game. So everything is nice, clean, and most importantly, beautiful and comfortable for the inhabitants, I mean animals. Yeah, so I had this very long line about the plans for the zoo, and I think I don't know how much it will take to build the entire zoo, but I really hope actually this is my dream that till holidays it will be ready, or it will be the end of the holidays it will be completed, but I don't know, because if you were watching my channel for quite some time, because I'm I'm on YouTube actually for over half a year now. You know that sometimes I don't have time to make videos on time, or the videos don't happen at all, mostly because I don't have time because life is happening, but I'm doing, or I don't have actually any mean to build. Actually, I don't have the will to build, which is also important if you're building in those games, because in my opinion, sometimes if you don't have a will to anything, and you don't necessarily have to do it, just don't do it, because mostly it wouldn't be as well as it. But I have a lot of ways to actually make me motivated to build new beautiful stuff in all of those games. But that will be the end of the speed build. I really hope you enjoyed. I really hope you also enjoyed the palace at the end. Stick around for the cinematics. For now, I'm ending the voiceover, and see you in the next episode. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to see the upcoming videos, and if you like this one, and if you stick with me till the end, I'm really, really, really happy for that, really thankful. So, for now, goodbye and have a beautiful day.